Okay, it's time to go live. Yep. Friday evening. Another day, another time. Yeah, this is where we are right now. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back, everybody. I hope you had a very good week. It is what it is. Yeah, very interesting week. This is where we are right now. Yeah, thanks so much. It is what it is. Let's get into it. Welcome back. Earlier this morning, I was actually talking about events happening. We spoke about what happened to Ezra Olubi and how people, are chiming in about the old stuff. I don't think that whatever has happened should come as a surprise to many. I think his life wasn't eating to all, okay? Especially those that were actually very close to him. So I don't know how you want to spin it right now. I mean, he was putting everything out there. So for people to start feeling like, oh, I didn't know that this was the kind of person he is, I don't know what you want to call that. But again, it is what it is. It is what it is. I was listening to this earlier today and I felt like, you know what? I don't know if it was really, I don't know if it's something that I want to really go through. This is Alex Otti. Alex Otti is one of the guys of one of the major players in the Labour Party, is the only governor of the Labour Party. And that's quite interesting because I believe that all eyes should be on him because whatever he does now really matters. And I also have some other videos that I want to show you guys bordering on 2027 and also every other thing that has been happening. And that's quite interesting because with the last election that happened in Anambra State, I think the Labour Party right now is in a position of weakness. Is in a dire position of weakness, and something needs to be done. And something needs to be done very urgently if the party still wants to continue its gig. Okay? Yeah. Let's see what's up here. In case you missed it, the lady that exposed Ezra Olubi and his old tweet, they dated for a while before she noticed that he is a misogynist. She's a feminist married to a fellow woman. Bro. Our Twitter X account is Maki Spoke. Wow, I hope you're following me. Okay, so let's see this. Because I really want to know, like, I've not been able to understand the whole thing about this whole story. Like, at what point did you feel that you need to come out and speak? What happened? Okay, so again, let me see this. So this is a person in question. The baby still tweeting, bro. This is 6 minutes ago. What? These are new information coming out. What is happening, bro? I don't even know what to say anymore. I don't think I can read all of this. Damn. Wow. These are DMs, right? These are DMs, right? Damn. I met some very bad people, known as bad as Trump, Jeffrey Epstein in 2027. I don't think she wants to be reposting this thing. I mean, focus on your own saga right now. Focus on the issue that you are dealing with. You don't need to try and bring Donald Trump into your issue with, Ezra. Baba is trending. Okay, we'll see what happens with that. Okay, so here it all begins 4 hours ago. Okay, please reach out to myself and Onosowobo if you are in a position to help with this. This is a very dangerous man. He will go to any length to silence us. We need the help of other powerful people to take him down. to take him down? What's your story? More of Ezra's victims are reaching out to me via email and asking if we can have a class action lawsuit against him. That is the only way that they will come forward with their full names and evidence against him. If anybody can help with a class action lawsuit, help. So this lady, okay, who I don't know, obviously had some stuff to do with Ezra. But my question is, how come it's now? Is it now that you want to speak out, or what has really been happening? I'm not defending whatever Ezra's done, but that would be another thing for us to ask, what really happened? And I'm going to read all her tweet. I just want to know, I want to get to the bottom, if I can, of everything that happened. Now, she's the only one speaking. We've not heard anything from Ezra. The latest we've heard was that he deactivated his X account, and everybody knows who he is. Now, we don't know other things that is happening behind the closed doors, right? Behind closed doors, rather. But we all know who he is. His sexuality is kind of open out there. I mean, the tweets from 14 years ago, 15 years ago was actually in the public face. Let's just put it as that. But I just want to understand, knowing the kind of guy that he is, how come this is coming out now, and why is it coming out now? Why? I just want to know. I'm just saying. Now, again, she's saying she wants to go on a lawsuit action. She wants to actually go all in, and his plan is to take him down. Sorry, our plan is to take him down. The full text message in the email thread. Hey. So this is Ezra writing to Max. Hey. Would have preferred to discuss this over a call. Seems you're busy so with text, as this is time sensitive on my hand. I wanted to ask you if you had any capacity to delay my repaying Sean loan for some time, possibly not until 2027 to 2028. The reason for this is that I'm about to make some pretty significant life changes this year, and I need to be as liquid as possible to accommodate some non-negotiable surrounding changes. Happy to go into more details over a call. If you need more information, we'll greatly appreciate more time. Fully intend to repay for what it's worth. Don't want this to come across any other way. Max, I understood. I'd love to hear the details of the referenced changes sometimes, but consider this request fine by me. Okay. Now let's look at this. Ezra, following up on our earlier exchange from February 2021, and I hope that this is this year, right? Okay, fine. Yeah. Where you confirm flexibility on the repayment timeline, consider the request fine by me. I've aligned the schedule accordingly. Repayment will be completed by November 15, 2027. Okay, which fall within a time frame that we discussed. I will share. Please confirm that this implies to all at once repayment. Okay, that's fine. Let me see. Okay, I can see what is happening here. Now I'm moving. Okay, I'm just reading as she's putting it. Now, let's look at this. Ezra, Max. Last October, I mentioned that I need to ease back into the friendship rather than continue from where we left off. Stating that I had to protect myself, I've now realized that protection requires complete severance. Okay. Now, when I say severance, that means he needs to pay some people off. Earlier this year, I became aware of some allegations you made about me shortly after we broke up. Number one, these are private text messages, okay? These are private text messages that this lady is now putting out in the open. And I'm going to leave it at that. You made about me shortly after we broke up. Allegations now held as fact by people I don't know, since they originate from you as someone who was actually in the relationship. I cannot begin to grasp the full extent of what intimate details about me have been misrepresented to strangers, stripped out of context, and how far it has spread. I do not know what you told Fatima, which you acknowledged when we met in Lagos. In contrast, when I found my friends, we were no longer together. I communicated incompatibilities over placing blame. Many of them unfortunately became victims of the harassment as a result of your recent Twitter altercation. This was November 1st. These are people who welcomed you with nothing but love and respect. I cannot change the past, and I accept that the option in the wild will persist. What I can control, however, is whether I create a new folder. As such, I will be permanently distancing myself moving forward. Regarding the outstanding $55,000 loan made towards your brother's tuition, let me have a repayment. So there's money involved. So November 1, Ezra is saying that, okay, fine, things are not good with us. It's high time I move forward. Now, this is it. It says, since you all won't stop fixating on the $55,000 loan and his repayment, let me see this one. Okay, let's see. Okay, let me just go back because I'm trying to track that. Okay, so regarding the outstanding $55,000 loan made towards your brother's tuition, let me have a repayment schedule. Our engagement concludes once the loan is settled. So the guy says, give me my money. Give me my money back. I've been helping your brother. I've been helping your brother in school. Just give me my money back. And that's fine. Okay. A follow-up on this trend for full transparency. David Couch. I don't know who David Couch is. Okay. But let's look at it this way. Can we go to court? Is there a class action suit? He fucked with my money, so I want to take off him. I want to take off him and put him in jail. That's how it wins. It takes food off your table, so you beg, and then it shuts you up by filling your mouth with food. I chose to leave it all behind, and my life has been hell since. It still hurts me. Thank God I told my husband. What did you tell your husband? I hope this doesn't affect his job too, because he's in tech too. And it says these tech boys look out for each other. I'm still scared of him, but if it's a class suit, I'm in. Financially, I'm a wreck. I have proof of everything. I convinced him I got rid of it, but I kept hoping a day would come. I don't know if Maki remembers his solo trip of 2021. She will understand me. So this is David Koch. Okay. That's another trend. So that's another person into the whole story. From David Koch to Max spoke at this. I don't know why she is not blocking the emails. This person seems to be all over the place. Don't forget, you're a victim in this and an inspiration to us all. I know someone who got worse and was actually raped, okay, by Ezra when she worked there. She's my wife now. What? And you just took years of art off her shoulder. Just received this in my inbox. There's no way to verify what this is all about or what this means. Okay? I don't know. So we're gonna leave that as it may and then move on. So that's another thread. Oh, I missed this. Okay. Let's go back to that. Oh my God. Oh my God, I lost. Okay, I lost the track here. I'm looking for the point where this guy, okay. Yeah, so this is where I stopped 6 hours ago. Okay, don't forget. Yeah, I said this already. Let's move on. Okay, can we go to court? I've seen this. I've seen this. I've read this. Okay, let's look at this also. Please, can I know the names of some of the feminists you're working with? Here we go. Feminist. Why do you need to work with any feminist? If someone has done anything wrong, okay, just, you want to do a lawsuit, go with a lawsuit. Because we still don't have the full story of what went on behind closed doors. There's been, previous tweets, which was horrible, which was crazy, bestiality and all of those stuff. But that's not what I'm talking about. I need, like, what really happened. So please, can I know the names of some of the feminists that you're working with? Ezra has a lot of us on his side. I want to be careful. Now, it's gonna be a clash between feminists against feminists. The feminists, so-called feminists, are all, a lot of them are in his books. Because the question people are going to be asking this so-called feminists is, guys, you knew who this guy was and you still covered for him. So how come now you guys are coming out and stabbing him in the back and fighting against him? Given all of his public utterances in the past, given what people actually knew about him. So that's another side to it. Great question. Please do not work with Kikibodi. Now they're leaving this guy and I say, oh, this person, she's not to be trusted. She's not to be trusted. I don't know who Kikimodi is. But you can see what's happening behind closed doors. That's why I ask. I don't trust Kikimodi or anyone in that clique. You can post it, although I'm scared it might come back on me. But I'm willing to take the risk. It will know it's me, but this will make other people speak out too. And it can't fight all of us. If it's done something bad, everybody should be encouraged to come out and speak. And again, you must be ready to subject yourself to cross-examination. Because this is going to be a very, very long drama. I'm just saying. It's going to be a very, very long drama. And it is what it is. Okay, so let me leave this and then I keep going on. I always suspected that the attempt to set me up at MMIA was what? Was precisely so that I would reach out to him and be in his debt. His plan got foiled because he did not realize he was dealing with this with his match. Now there's absolutely no control he has over me. I'll fight as hard as I can. Okay, good. I'm sorry, why would I pay an interest-free loan even one day before an agreed timeline? What's pragmatic about that? I will pay when I want to pay as agreed. Okay, so I guess he's talking about the 55,000 loan. So this lady, I guess, got some loan from Ezra. Ezra is demanding the loan, I guess. Okay, fine. At Kikimodi, which is the lady that, you know, she's referencing, she's a feminist. Whatever the hell they do, whatever the hell they try to do is fine. That's their gig. If you're both genuinely about the truth, reach out to me and we can work with a reputable lawyer on a class action lawsuit. Okay? That's an email. My response: rejecting a friendship that doesn't come with respect. What does this mean? Okay, let me see. I'm gonna read this out now. Hi Ezra, good morning. This was July 7, 2024. I've reflected a bit further on last night's conversation and I appreciate your taking time to write your perspective and breakup notes to the poly queue. Although I would have preferred for this to have been a conversation rather than a unilateral decision you made about a partnership that involved two other people who maybe deserved the benefit of a conversation before we officially and mutually call it quit. So this guy was dating Ezra. This lady, Ada, was dating Ezra. I know that my reluctance to accept your carefree communication style and my strong reaction to each instance of unprovoked rudeness from you is the sole reason you've decided to take a step back and accept it. That's the first one. Honestly, if you actually talk to me the same exact way you talk to NK or maintain the same energy you had the first week in December, would not be having the problems we had so quickly and so early in our relationship. I agree with your conclusion that this is a sign of incompatibility, but where I disagree with you is that there can be no room to negotiate how we would like to be addressed by our paramours without immediately seeking to end things. Okay, so that's that. Regarding your last paragraph in your write-up, please take the time to reflect on if you think there is any possibility that you'll modify the way you communicate with me to be closer to how you communicate with NK, so that I'm less triggered by your carefree comments. I am a generally sensitive person. Oh, here we go. Here we go, sensitivity, and just don't talk to people I love a certain way and expect the same. Even as a friend, I still wouldn't appreciate some of the things you've said to me over the past few months. Okay, so I guess they broke up around July 2024. Now, since you guys think I'm a scorned ex, which fair enough, I am, since I suspect this man tried to get me arrested. Here are the breakup notes in chronological order. Ezra initial breakup note. So I think that she's an aggrieved ex. I might be wrong, but I think she's an aggrieved ex that wants to be even with a guy. I'm just saying. But it is what it is. It is what it is. So many things. Why would your boss be asking you, his subordinate, to choose his girlfriend how to take mirror selfies? Is that normal? Let me look at this. Okay. I'm not going to read that. Okay. Oh, all right. Okay. Using my front camera. Okay, which is fine. Well, I mean, why would your boss be asking you, his subordinate, to teach his girlfriend how to take mirror self? Is that normal? Yeah, but then when he was telling you, you never said anything was wrong with it. You never said anything was wrong with it. Okay. Axel said, why would Ezra send me this note in April 2025, several months after we were broken up, to warn me of communicating with his housekeeper, Comfort, who he had just fired? Why reach out to me? What motivates that behavior? Control or paranoia? Let me see. Okay, I want to share an update regarding Comfort. An employment was terminated on March 30, and she was asked to leave the premises on the morning of the 31st. The primary reason for this is that she hasn't been a reliable custodian of my privacy. I had hoped for a respectable exit. I chose to not involve my security details in the process, including ensuring an exit from the premises. Unfortunately, she chose to turn the situation into theater, starting with causing a ruckus at the gate on the 31st and calling up everyone that would listen, including my driver and even, my the sister, to tell them weird tales about our former colleague Esther. And the chef, somehow, she doesn't realize she's perpetuating the very reason she was let go, much to my chagrin. Please, if she reaches out to any of you, as I now worry she might, don't engage or indulge her. Also, I apologize in advance for the ridiculousness of this all. Okay, well, yeah, I like her a lot. I'm sad to hear things went awry and that it didn't work out in the end. She did reach out yesterday. So the housemaid reached out to her, okay, in the sense that she went back through our previous message and disliked a few messages. I was curious what that was about, but I guess this is why. If she doesn't reach out in the NS, I won't engage. And thanks for the heads up. I hope you're well. We should all catch up sometime. So this is the lady, okay, in April, still having a very good relationship with Ezra after they broke up. Unreliable custodian of property. I hope it isn't or wasn't about your non-platonic relationship. She wasn't telling people outside your home things, was she? Thank you. Yes, I'm well. How has it been with the tariff-induced economic turmoil in the state? It's been weird observing it. Anyways, it is what it is. Again, anyway, I've said enough. If at Spaytac is a serious complaint, you shouldn't take a genius to see what is happening here. Good luck with your investigation. And this is the lady in the old saga. But again, it is what it is. I'm gonna move on. I'm just gonna be following up with whatever happens with that investigation as we move along. Yeah. Okay. So let's just go. This is Ojuzo Kalu talking about how generals get sacked when a subordinate is being promoted above them. Let me just dive into politics a little bit.
In amending this law, in supporting this debate, I would like him to look into the courses, the military courses. Because once somebody, for example, that the new chief of army staff is course 41, all the people in course 40, 39, 40, they are gone. And we spend a lot of money training these military people. I want, in amending this law, I want them to bring at any time the commander-in-chief wants to appoint a chief of army staff, chief of naval staff, you should go by their courses. This was caused also by last administration where they left one man to be chief and we lost about 6 courses on the stretch. So in repealing and re-enacting this bill, I would like the committee to look into these courses. Like they just appointed the chief of naval staff, chief of air staff, and chief of army is course 41. All the people in the Navy, in the army, and in the Air Force, they are gone. And we have spent a lot of money training these.
I don't understand why the Nigerian military would have people above a certain rank, resign or, just leave or retired when a junior officer is promoted. I kind of understand because authority flows from the top to the bottom in the military and in the forces generally. But the question remains, shouldn't they be given the opportunity to decide if they still want to stay? Because at the same time, I don't want there to be that there is seniority above, that you place seniority above competence. If I see a junior officer, and I'm not saying a junior like junior, I mean, if I see an officer that is at the level of a general, but I see as some other senior, but I know that this person is important in safeguarding, the security of a nation, then what do? I can't be forced to wait and allow all these other members to actually be appointed before I then choose the person that I want. It won't work that way.
Generals, this is Nigerian people's money. So we must maintain that if we want to appoint course 40, every course should be entitled to chief of army staff, or chief of air staff, or chief of defense staff. They should not go down to take somebody and making about 200-300 generals are retiring. For nothing's sake, they all have 7-8 years to stay in the thing. So, Mr. President, I would like to appeal seriously that this will be amended also, so that Nigerian army will be one army, will be one people, will be one voice, will be one cause in NDA as they do it. I rest my case, Mr. President.
Senator Ojikalu, we need to be very careful. They know that very more than us vis-a-vis the powers of Commander-in-Chief of Armed Forces. When you say commander, he has a latitude to appoint at all points. He so wishes, based on the security of the country. So we need to marry this together. No, we're not debating. I'm just saying.
I have to just give you information. The information I'm giving you is
not
advising the commander-in-chief. It's not anything. Because commander-in-chief might not know. And
I've not recognized you. You can sit down. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm just saying, when you get to this period, we need to marry these two together. Get the military, let them be involved in enacting the law, so that we look at the authority of the CNC as well as the tradition of the military. So let's not, because we are not military experts, they understand their tradition. Senator Sam.
I don't understand why he's saying that he's not a military expert. Bro, you're writing the laws. You're writing the laws. One of the problems that the Congress, and I'm talking about the United States Congress, have, is that most of these guys that have been there, even in the United States, a lot of them have been there for decades. A lot of them are not even evolving with technology. So now you're talking about AI, you're talking about, you have blockchain, you have cryptocurrency and all of those. But they're not even bringing stuffs that really matters to ensure that the laws are actually being updated as we speak. So when you're saying that, well, we're not military, and as a result of that, I mean, I'm not saying you wouldn't consult. You're going to consult them. But the fact that as a lawmaker, you are expected to, number one, be vast. Number two, also to have what specialists that work with you on different areas of the law, so that you can actually bring stuff that impacts the people. So, I don't know. I'm just saying.
And distinguished colleagues, I stand to second the lead debate as presented by the chairman, Army, And the presentation, Mr. President and distinguished colleagues, has aptly captured the reason and the background behind this repeal and reenactment.
I'm going to speed this thing up. I'm going to speed it up.
Armed Forces Act Cap A20. As he said, Mr. President, it's a long time, and there's a need to, as we evolve in our democracy, we also align all other laws, especially the armed forces, to be in line with modern democracy, rule of law. This is what this bill is trying to do, to update the laws, subject the armed forces to civil rule, and also improve on human rights, protection, and others, and efficiency. So I urge my colleagues to support the second reading of this.
Let me move on.
A trial by a court of law before such conviction shall be upheld, because as it is, it violates the principles of nemo judice in causa sua. You cannot be a judge in your own cause. So this is a very fundamental principle of law. That this what this.
Okay, I'm gonna move on. I mean, I saw the title and it was about why we lose trained generals over service chiefs, because when the service chief is promoted, being a younger officer, every other generals above him is told to resign, and that's just it. Peter Obi has commented. Let me see on what happened. Let me just see if I can get some other stuff relating to that. Peter Obi versus Daniel Buala, a must watch. No, I'm not gonna check that. I want to check this one.
Your Highness,
Sanusi Lamido Sanusi. I've been seeing this for a while. And I felt like I should react to it. Sanusi queries Tinubu's government excessive borrowing despite subsidy removal. This is a very important speech. I want to respond to this.
CBN Governor, we know all the conversation that you had about this same issue, and the fact that what is required was the leadership to take the right action. And like Mr. Atadokita said just now, not just the one-day action, but the policies and processes that follow, making sure they are executed. In fact, I remember there was a specific time that you said you've done your best with monetary policy, and that's your job as a CBN governor. The rest of it is left in the hands of those who are politicians. And I think that was part of the reason you said you got a query from the SGF. So you got a query at that point, and it led to so many other things. But let me ask you, sir. Now, in terms of those in power in Nigeria listening, several Nigerians commended the position of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, when he appointed both Mr. Wale Edun and Mr. Yemi Cardoso. They said these are some of the best brains and best minds. And yet, we're in a situation where people are crying. Is it that Nigerians, and I would refer to even the time of President Jonathan, some of the best brains, including the likes of Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, including the likes of even my dear sister and friend here, Aruma Otewa, in government and working for government agencies. Is it that the people at the helm of leadership in Nigeria just consistently don't listen to advice and fail to do the right thing beyond the one single action that Mr. Atadokita described as 24-hour decision?
Thank you very much, Kaide. Well, first of all, let me say that it's extremely important for us to try to understand economics and how the economy works. And a failure to understand economics sometimes leads to misplaced expectations. There's a rule for the central bank. There's a rule for the Ministry of Finance. You've got monetary policy, you have fiscal policy, you have structural policies, you have institutional reforms. And yes, I was one of those who commended the appointment of Wale Edun and Yemi Cardoso. These are two gentlemen that I've known for many years, and I have never had any question about their competence. And if you try to assess them, you've got to ask, what were they supposed to achieve? Okay. Now, going back to the beginning, you talk about 2012, and you talk about the suffering from removal of subsidy. It's simple arithmetic. If you're paying 80 naira or 65 naira per liter, and you begin to pay 160 naira per liter, costs will go up.
Yep.
There will be hardship.
Yep.
And the duty of leaders is to understand that there will be a cost to removing subsidy. And I said in 2012, if you remember from the town hall meeting, to say that there will be hardship is not an economic argument. To say that there will be a cost to removing subsidy is not an economic argument. The economic argument is, this is the cost of removing the subsidy. what is the cost of not removing the subsidy? Are you making a choice? We were in a situation where we had a hedge that we called, it was not a subsidy, it was a hedge. You see, a subsidy by definition, the government says, I will pay X% of the price. That is a subsidy. I'll pay 20% of the price, whatever it is. Price goes up, you pay more, I pay more. Price goes down, you pay less, I pay less. What we had in this country is what in risk management you call a naked hedge, the worst possible derivative you can have. The government said to Nigerians, 200 million Nigerians, you will not pay more than X amount per liter on petrol, no matter what the price of petrol is.
Yeah.
So all price goes up from $40 to $140, the federal government pays the difference. Exchange rate moves from 155 to 300, the government pays the difference. Interest rates move from 5% to 15%, the government pays. Remember, the price of petrol and what the calculations include the cost of crude, the cost of refined product, the cost of transportation, even interest rates, demurrage. If you look at the template, all of those amounts were being absorbed. The federal government was saying, I have an unlimited pocket. So we moved from a point where we were using revenues to pay subsidy to where we had to borrow money to pay subsidy to where we had to borrow money to pay interest on the borrowed money. We had become bankrupt. Anyone who takes a naked hedge ends up being bankrupted, especially with a commodity where you don't control the price. So this was the point in 2012. Now, if Nigerians had allowed the Jonathan government to remove the subsidy in 2011, that would have been pain. But that pain would have been a very, very tiny fraction of what we are facing today.
Yeah. Again, that's it. It's the option. Like, if you can remove it today or refuse not to remove it. But if you continue in that trajectory, at some point, the country will be like a Venezuela. It was painful. Removing the subsidy was painful. You shouldn't make it trivial. In fact, it took a lot of guts for Tinubu to want to remove it because it was just like more like a societal attempt that we've been running this country and hoping that one day things will get better. It didn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. So the nation was already like nosediving. It was going to be bad. It was going to get worse if Tinubu had not removed that subsidy thing. And again, when people talk and people complain and all of that, I understand it's not easy, especially when those that are responsible for the destruction of the country had enjoyed the bliss of Nigeria, and now you're removing subsidy and their lifestyle has not been impacted. And I'm talking about the senators, the governors, the politicians. I understand that argument. But there's also a worse outcome if you refuse not to remove it. And it wasn't just subsidy in terms of the petroleum. It was also subsidy with respect to foreign exchange.
Of delay. At that time, we worked out the numbers in the central bank, and I stood up and put my credibility on the line and said, remove the subsidy today, inflation moves up from 11% to 13%. I will bring it down in a year. We will not have had 30-something% inflation.
Yeah.
Okay, that was where we were. Now, people like my friend Kayode Fayemi here and his APC friends had Occupy Nigeria, came out on the streets, told us we could not do it. And I remember calling one of my friends. And this is, we should talk about these things because it's important. There's a kind of poetic justice. That it is actually the people who led the Occupy Nigeria movement who ended up seeing the problem, inheriting the problem, and having to do it.
Yeah.
I remember calling one of my friends at
that
that time.
And again, that's the argument people are having. Like, okay, fine. Tinubu was saying, no, don't remove subsidy. Kill corruption instead of, instead of killing the subsidy or killing Nigerians. Pastor Bakari also at Ojota there saying that, remove corruption instead of removing the subsidy. Okay. Most people in government today were against Jonathan then. And that begs the question. That how do you size political benefit to the ultimate benefit of the people? Because it was pure politics. And again, it was also Jonathan not having the goodwill that people could trust in to do what is right. Even though the removal of subsidy in 2011, 2012 would have been one of the best decisions if Jonathan had stuck to the gun and said, no matter what happens, I'm going to remove this thing. That's where leadership comes. And that's the difference between a Tinubu and a Jonathan. If Atinubu told you, I'm going to remove it, you're going to complain, you're going to go on strike, you're going to protest, but I'm going to remove it. And it did.
Look, one of my closest friends said, you know that what we're doing is right. He said, yes, I know. I said, why? He said, well, I'm in opposition. My job is to make the government look bad. You are the governor of central bank, you go and defend your government. Just politics.
Yep.
And the only reason the government compromised at that time, maybe we should know this, the only reason the government compromised and did 50% to 100% was Boko Haram. Because there were thousands of Nigerians on the streets in Lagos and Kano and Kaduna and all that. At the time when we had suicide bombers in the country. And there was a fear. If one day one of these suicide bombers goes to these Nigerians
locations
and explodes the bomb and you have 200 corpses, it will no longer be about subsidy.
I didn't even think it. I didn't even think about that. I just felt that Jonathan was not really ready. And his capital was already being eroded. His political capital was already being eroded at that point in time. I mean, overall, Jonathan's tenure was fraught with so many challenges. From the Chibok girls to Boko Haram taking over local governments, hosting their flags and all of those, to corruption under his government. Alison Madueke, or whatever her name is, stole a lot of monies. To one Aluko, one Yoruba guy also working with her, stole a lot of money. Sanusi Wizublu then, they pursued him, sent him away, brought in a Mefele who would later go and steal money to build 700 buildings, mansions in Abuja. Such impunity. And it still continues today.
So you have to give President Jonathan the credit. He was determined to do it, but at the end of the day, the compromise was made, to save Nigerian lives. Now, what has the central bank achieved? Central bank's role is to provide stability. The central bank does not deliver growth. It does not deliver employment. It provides an environment that is conducive to growth. Now, and the central bank has achieved it. You don't want inflation moving from 10% to 15% to 20% to 25%, because as I said a few weeks ago at NESG, Nigerians don't realize that we were on the brink of hyperinflation.
Yeah.
Beyond a certain rate of inflation, it becomes runaway inflation. You can't control it. You'd buy rice in the morning. By the time you come at 12 noon, the price has changed.
Yep.
By 4 p.m., it has changed. This is what happened in Zimbabwe. It happened in Venezuela. It happened in Argentina. We were heading for Nigeria. We were printing.
The problem is that most people don't understand economics. Most people don't understand how this thing works. Then it becomes a bigger problem.
Money like that. We're heading for Nigeria. We're heading in the direction of Zimbabwe under Mugabe, or Uganda under Idi Amin. So inflation has been reined in. The runaway devaluation has been stopped. Yes, we're at 1,400. Nobody wants an naira at 1,400. Mm-hmm. But it's better to know that it will be 1,400 for the next 6 months, 8 months, 10 years, than to think it's 1,400 today, 2,000 tomorrow, 2,500, which is really... So the central bank's job is not to give you a strong naira. The central bank's job is not to give you low prices.
Yeah.
The central bank's job is to reduce the volatility in the price level. And so when you assess the central bank, you've got to say, what has it done? Have you reduced volatility inflation? Have you brought it down? We're going to bring it down to single digit on your way. There's still a long way to go. I would like to see inflation come down to under 10%. It will take time. But in terms of stopping it from runaway tires, exchange rate volatility has been reduced. Now, on the fiscal side, and we talk about tax reforms. Those reforms, the Tax Act only takes off next year.
Mm-hmm. In the next 1 month.
That before the tax reforms have kicked in, we have increased government revenues. We have brought down debt service ratios from 100 and something percent to about 40%.
Okay.
So on the revenue side, you've got to give the finance ministry credit for what it's done.
Yep, 100%.
Now, is there more to do? Yes. And the way where the problem is what Atedo has mentioned, is the expenditure side.
Yes.
The quality of spending. And some of these things, we've got to be honest with ourselves. Look, why do we need 48 ministers? Why do we need dozens of vehicles when we're moving around in convoys or traveling all over the country?
So, Your Highness, that brings me to that question which I'm asking, which is, do we have an affliction that affects the hearing of our leaders and unable to listen to the good advice?
No, I mean...
If we have an affliction, we'll get a doctor to fix it.
So So your question started with the finance minister and central bank governor, and we're saying that there are things that are beyond them when you're dealing with the economy. So I would go along with that agenda and say you've got to look at overheads. You've got to look at things like your contract processing, procurement process, okay? There's still questions about inflated contracts. There are questions about transparency. There are questions, all this money is coming into the federal, and this at federal, state, and local level, there are serious questions about how the money that is being raised is being used. And the arithmetic is simple. If you stop paying subsidy, why are we still borrowing more?
Yeah,
Because
okay, this is what I want to say. If we stop paying subsidy, why are we still borrowing more? As the emir, respectfully, taking a trip across the interland, as the emir been able to travel across various places in the country, the state of our infrastructure is very bad. Very, very bad. How are you going to fix that? I agree totally with reducing the expenditure, okay, the overspending, the reckless spending in the executive, the National Assembly, and every other places, agencies, and all the likes. But at the same time, if you really, really want to help this country, I believe that a lot of these projects needs to be funded. You can't even drive across the whole country without facing serious issues while on the road. How do you fix that? And remember, there's been a massive deficit when it comes to our infrastructure levels across board. So if the government can justify that the borrowing can be tied to capital projects, then why not borrow as much as you can now, such that you actually get the benefits in the future? And that's my own take about that. It's not about the borrowing that is the problem. Remember, they brought down the debt service ratio from almost 100 plus to what? To like 40. So again, except we're just deceiving ourselves, because everybody complains about infrastructure. Everybody complains about power. Everybody complains about so many things. How do you do that? Because we are like decades behind when it comes to development in Nigeria.
The whole, we should have the revenue to fund expenditure. But
it's not enough. I would argue that it's not enough, except you want Tinubu to be sacking almost all the civil service. Again, it becomes another question of will he do it? Because we need to look into efficiency. I agree with that. But even if you look into efficiency, I'm saying for what we want to achieve as a country, they still need to borrow more. So get the revenue, get the borrowing, and then let's see how that works.
Filling one hole and digging a bigger hole. So this government needs to look at institutions. It needs to look at the quality of spending. It needs to understand that if you keep making more money and keep blowing it away, you're going to undo what you have done. But apart from that, I think a lot of good has been done, okay? But we still have to look at what needs to.
Okay.
Everybody that understands economics would know that this government, the Tinubu's government, has really tried to move move the country forward in economics. Now, it's not been blissful. There's a lot of issues that they need to also look at. But in terms of the big issues, yes, they've tried. Security is a no-no. They failed woefully in security, which is a bigger problem. Because if you can't safeguard the life of people, how do you expect that that would also match with the progress that you've made when it comes to economics?
Ask this question, Your Royal Highness, one more time, and I hope I get a straight answer to it. Nigerian leaders, from as long as I can remember since I've been in this country, they seem to not be listening to wise counsel. Even the man that you said was President Jonathan at the time had the good counsel to say, no matter what happens with Boko Haram and the rest of them, this is wise counsel, not just from the then SLS governor of CBN, from a great mind like Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. Everybody said this is the right thing. In fact, I remember you mentioned on Channels Television, where I was the GM then, that we're on the precipice, about to fall. You said it. So why will that president not take the right action, and then the one after, and now the one that is there now? knowing what the answers are from the experts, the likes of Wale Edun, the likes of Yemi Cardoso, and all the other brilliant minds that are working with him. Why are they not doing it?
Look, in fairness,
Affliction or what? I asked the question one more time because we have to
on
move
this
on.
question, in fairness to Jonathan,
What's happening?
he took the right decision. And look, I'm not a fan of Jonathan. He suspended me from my job, okay? So but you have to commend him, okay? President Jonathan took the advice and agreed to remove subsidy. As a government, we all agreed to remove the subsidy, and we're determined to remove the subsidy. The only reason we stopped at 50%.
Wow, I don't know what's happening. Sorry about that. Let me see. Okay. Apologies.
Your Highness,
oh no,
I remember.
I want to listen to the.
Look, you need to say, when I got to, you sit in a meeting, and the president is there, and people are speaking, and the first thing they say is, Mr. President, I would like to thank you for your leadership to this country. In fact, you know, God has blessed Nigeria by making us your leader. If you were not there, I don't know where we would be. By the time these people lay...
And then, who are you to say, Mr. President, you're messing up? It's not easy, bro. People play like... And it comes with the office, really. It's not... One of the things that, you know, make all these people cling to power is because the aura of just being the president, it comes with a lot of stuff. Just that name, Mr. President. So you have people that are psychophans around Tinubu, around Buhari, around Jonathan, around Obasanjo, and all of those. And that's why most times when they get in there, they get derailed because they keep singing their praises. Oh, Nigeria is better. You guys are great. And the whole country is burning.
This foundation, it is their advice that the president takes. Okay? People like me who would say, Mr. President, there are some things that are wrong. When you leave, they say you are his enemy. Okay? So the problem is that when leaders allow themselves to be surrounded by praise singers and by sycophants, they never get good advice. So people like Achedo and myself are always enemies of state because people don't like hearing the bad news. There was nothing we didn't say to Buhari about printing money, about waste and means, about exchange rates.
I can remember that. Yeah, it did call Buhari out. Buhari was a mess, a big mess in our politics. Unfortunately, it was.
About subsidy. But every time you spoke about the economy, it was seen as a personal attack against the president. And there are people around him who convinced him that this person is your enemy. That's why he's saying this. Okay. So we need to begin to ask as leaders, who do we surround ourselves with? And please, those who are ministers and those who speak to the president, it is not to your benefit to turn yourselves, you disgrace yourselves, you debase yourselves by turning yourselves into praise singers.
All right, thank you very much, Ernest.
Okay, that's that about that. Yeah, I just wanted to, like, it's been popping up on my timeline for a while, and it's just crazy. Yeah, there's a lot of other things to talk about, but I just wanted to read you this guy. I saw this thing. I saw the response of this tweeted guy, Omojua, to Ezra. If it's about Ezra's past, there's nothing to be investigated. I said that. I said all of these things were out there. He tweeted his thoughts and possibly actions out loud enough. They read like an open confession at times. If there are victims from that past, they should step out. They deserve justice and they exist. So if you're a victim, you have the right to come out. If you're a victim, you have to come out. Now, the feminists are fighting each other. There is the pro-Ezra wing and there is the anti-Ezra wing. It's that bad. I think we can all agree that what is bad and what is good. And every other thing is just noise. Without that, I doubt that there's any legal basis for any crime of tweets that aren't proven to have happened. This is a legal position, not my opinion. You cannot judge him with the tweets alone. There must be substantive proof and evidences of whatever Ezra has done in the past. And Ezra, for those who don't know, is the city of Paystack, one of the big fintech companies in Nigeria, who has now been suspended this morning or yesterday morning, depending on your time zone. To be clear, those tweets alone cannot make him spend 1 second in any jail. You need a body, you need individuals, you need people with real evidences. From what I've seen, the lady on top of this matter happens to be in a relationship with him, and even when they broke up, they were still very good. Up until, I think, April or July this year, they were still very good. So what happens? Or what happened? Kikimodi wasn't just Ezra's friend. Irrespective, okay, however, to investigate Ezra's post 2020 without adding someone like Kikimodi to the conversation is to be biased and decidedly blind from the go. Kikimodi wasn't just Ezra's friend, irrespective of our attempt to treat him like some regular friend now. Now that the times have switched. See, the wishy-washy nonsense statement below, posted on stories, so it disappears by tomorrow. She was his body. A deep one. Deepest one. Everybody's trying to kind of stir up the fire. If his heart is breaking wherever he is, a long chunk must be breaking for Kiki's Modi's statement. He had her name on his bio for years. He clearly loved her. He appeared to have funded her socially and professionally. He probably invested or donated to a Document Women project. She probably took trips on his bill. He clearly elevated her social status. We know who she was before he adopted her, as whatever it is, they really were. Happy for her, she can be posting a statement from an holiday location today. Life is good. That it picks such a person that wrote about him is one of his many feelings. Choosing his ops as allies, buddies, and who knows what else. But that cannot excuse the writer. This reads like she sees herself as some moral arbiter. She cannot be. The same way I cannot walk on water, she cannot. If Ezra committed any crime in a sane world, she immediately would be a suspect by default. An investigation of Ezra where Kikimodi isn't treated as a co-conspiracy, at least, is a blind one ab initio. This is how the world runs. I understand how these things are different on social media, where foolishness and blindness are by design. Any sensible person whose more than we've seen in the last 2 days must be disgusted by this holier than thou nonsense statement. Okay, so this is the statement. A few people have reached out to me to seek my voice in prosecuting the person I've called a friend for a lengthy period. My force I be tested to extremes remain active against the grape culture. I'm exhausted from having to do this for yet another friend, but do it I must. Hey, oh boy, that's crazy. Okay, I've been vacationing with my family and taking a much needed break from Twitter against my preference by owing to its urgency. Like, I don't even understand. You can't be, a judge in your own case. We're very close to this guy. So I will expect you at this point in time to, number one, maybe get a lawyer's advice. Number two, get someone, if you are really committed to the truth, get someone that would be unbiased. Not you. Against my preference, but owing to his urgency, I have seen some of these horrifying tweets. Oh, so you didn't see all the tweets when you were moving with him? Is that what you're saying? I had to see some of this horrifying tweet. Everyone else has seen it. I'm still processing it. There's a lump in my throat and a knot in my stomach. Okay. Fine. My trust has been violated. What the hell? Which trust was violated? These tweets were there, like they were on Twitter for years, for donkey of years. These tweets were on Twitter since 2011. Which trust is this person talking about? That's when you put emotions into things. I don't understand. My trust has been violated. Madam, I don't believe that. As many other women who have built safe space on this foundation, I'm working with those close allies equally distraught but committed to create a safe reporting channel supporting all existing investigation. I would say, given what I've written, where people are saying they don't even trust you, is that you stay clear of whatever investigation that is happening. This is out on Twitter. This is out on Twitter. I've known Maki from Twitter, and after a full interaction, I muted her because I didn't like her opinion. But Ezra, whom I had a symbiotic trust relationship with, told me this is who he wanted to build a life with, and I accepted her. So she's saying that this Maki lady, who happened to be in a relationship with Ezra, only became someone she accepted because of Ezra. And now you're saying that you want to go for justice for people impacted. Meanwhile, you've been a benefactor of this same guy. So I would say you should stay clear of the investigation or whatever it is that will come out of this. Amaka never ever, okay, that's the Maki girl, brought up any concerns about Ezra. And she shared a lot of fears with me when I was in Lagos. Fears like a future with him, having kids. I counseled and provided safety. And even after they broke up, I offered friendship and safety. She tagged 3 women in frame 1. She blocked me, privately bullied another, and publicly lied against the third, Ozzy. What's worse, she alone was friends with Ezra at the time of these tweets, and she made similar sick tweet herself. What? Just search their art. Okay. I feel bad for Ozzy because there's never been a real relationship. All of this was imagined by Amaka, and she took Ozzy's public disagreement with her as a rejection, and anyone who knows her knows how she takes rejection. Because we are friends, refused to encourage the madness crusade she started against Ozzy, she made us enemy. Ezra made an unrelated tweet about LLMs, and Maki, thinking it was a shade to Ozzy, went to laugh with him in the DM literally just days ago. Wow. She tries things to see what sticks. I've seen her do it with her own family members. Did it with Ozzy, did it with me, and after Ezra sent her a severance letter, it stood to reason for me she had started with him. She called the professor that was writing me a recommendation for a Yale fellowship to allege I was on Ezra's payroll. This was before I even knew she had a 55K loan. They were all collecting money from this dude. They were all collecting money from this dude. They were all benefiting from the connection of this dude. The tweets were on Twitter for all to see all these years. So what changed? The guy is down now. He should pay for his crime. Okay? He should pay for his crime. But what changed is the fact that the guy is down now. And these so-called feminists fighting for the future. That's why I don't believe in all of these people call themselves feminists, activists, all of these East. I don't for one believe in them. Are they good for the society? Maybe sometimes they are. Somebody must shout. Somebody must occupy the streets. But at the end of the day, it doesn't change anything. It doesn't change anything. In fact, I remember the old story where they told Jesus, what is very important to us right now is to get ourselves delivered from this Roman Empire. And he told them, anyway, that's not my own business on earth. That's not my own business on earth. When it's time, you will be delivered. Again, if you want to go into activism, fine. If you want to be a feminist, fine. You do you. But you're trying to keep yourself clean right now when the chips are down, given that this guy was actually open with his lifestyle. This is what we see. There are a lot of stuff that happened behind closed doors that nobody's even putting on Twitter. So this guy was putting his lifestyle on Twitter. You were his friends. Everybody knew about his sexuality, either you like it or not. But now because the chips are down, you want to crucify it. I'm tired of reading this long statement. So bad people are bullying my sister and mother who I foolishly tagged on my last story on Instagram. I don't want Maki tagging me anymore. If she continues, I'll file a harassment claim. I found out this horrible tweet along with everyone else, and I still can't believe Ezra never showed me any evidence. It was part of the people I was fighting for decades. You should have done your own work, lady. What are you talking about? Oh, she needs to show you evidence. She was supporting you, giving you money, so she bought you over. People who tweet depraved things to normalize our culture. Oh, he was on Twitter. What do you mean he should? Oh, so let's look at it this way. Okay, so this girl is now like a friend with Ezra. Ezra has been funding the foundation or whatever shop she set up. So let's just think about it. So she wants Ezra to say, oh, lady, these are the bad tweets that I tweeted in the past. It doesn't work that way, bro. It doesn't work that way. So now my question to you is, how many of those people are still funding you, funding your foundation, giving subvention to your old gig? You also open me up to this insane person from his past that has made it a life mission to take me out along with her. I'm tired. I cannot continue on this journey. I don't even know who this person is, to be honest with you. If any one of them contact me again, it will not be tweets. I will use to respond. Well, sir, for lack of better word, we actually need Ezra back here. Yes, it's okay to make mistakes, and that shouldn't justify the fact that he's also human too. He's a public figure now, and a household name. Isolating himself from the public might lead him to depression. Hey, no, he should get off Twitter for a while. He should get his life back in order. Did you know Ezra was a questionable character? Did you not see his tweets? Were you not concerned? Exactly. This is not what Chimamanda warned about Emezi and a clique of trauma-induced feminism. Especially when someone has had a different viewpoint, they would wish to see the person utterly destroyed. They are now fighting each other. They told us here that men know their friends are terrible. It's just crazy. Like, it's just crazy. It's really crazy. I will keep bringing it to you as they keep tweeting themselves to oblivion. I'll keep bringing it out here. But again, it is what it is. I'm gonna move on. I want to move on to the obedience, because whatever it is, we have to rescue that movement.
My dearest obedient family, I want you to pause for a moment and remember why we started. We didn't join this movement because it was easy. We didn't stand under the sun, rain, and tear gas because we were promised comfort. We didn't risk jobs, friendships, and even our lives because we were guaranteed instant victory. We came because we looked at Nigeria and said this suffering is not normal. This darkness is not our portion. Our children deserve better. We saw a man, Peter Obi, who was willing to leave the comfort of his home, sacrifice his peace, risk his family's safety, and stand in the gap for a new Nigeria.
Okay.
A man of competence, capacity, character, and compassion. That kind of leadership doesn't come every day. Yes, the road has been rough. Yes, some things have not moved at the pace we expected. Yes, we've been betrayed, mocked, blocked, and discouraged on every side. But tell me, since when did freedom come cheap? They killed our brothers during NSAS. They jailed our sisters for speaking truth. They tore our mandates in broad daylight. Many of us lost businesses, jobs, relationships just for wearing this badge of hope.
Okay.
After all that sacrifice, shall we now walk away because things got harder? Shall we abandon the dream because the journey is longer than we thought? Shall we betray those who died carrying this flag just because we are tired? No. 1,000 times no. This is not the time to resign. This is the time to resign, recommit, reorganize, re-energize. The Obedient family is not a political party. It is a covenant. It is a promise we made to ourselves, to our children, and to the souls that have gone ahead of us. We are the generation that will look our children in the eye and say, yes, Nigeria was broken, but we didn't run. We stayed. We fought. We fixed it.
Okay.
Nothing good comes easy. Every great nation passed through its wilderness before entering its promised land. We are in the wilderness now, but the promised land is still ahead. Hold on, family. Hold the line. Hold each other. Peter Obi is not giving up. The ancestors who fought for this land are watching. The children yet unborn are counting on us. Let nobody scatter this house. Let nobody divide this love. Let nobody kill this dream. We will persevere. We will overcome. By the grace of God, we will deliver a new Nigeria.
Okay.
A Nigeria that works for everyone, no matter your tribe, tongue, faith, or region.
Okay.
This is not just politics. This is destiny. We are the obedience. We do not retreat. We do not surrender. We do not fail. Together we will win. Together we will heal Nigeria. Stay strong, family. The best is still ahead. With love and unbreakable faith, your brother in the struggle, a new Nigeria is possible.
Okay, so this is a message from Ibrahim Abdul Karim. Studying the obedience is not yet over. Bro, I told you it's over already for the obedient movement. Maybe something will change. And when it changes and I see that, I'm going to come out and tell you people that, okay, there is hope. But from what I've seen thus far, before the 2023 elections, and also what is happening right now, and the future of the opposition in Nigeria, I'm sorry to say, it's over for the obedient movement. I'm not the only person saying it. There are some obedients that have agreed with me. This obedience speaks. I am obedient. If nobody else will say it, I will say it. I will. At Peter Obi, you are very wicked. Damn. I wouldn't even say such thing. How can you donate so much and then ignore the obedient movement, which you know lacks funding? Maurice was, there's a lot of back and forth. They're coming out for him, right, with sharp knife. The crazy part is that some of us want to keep donating, but you are an indecisive leader. I don't know who this guy is. Bon Chibweke. You don't fight like a man. Your tiny voice matches the limit of your... What? When the APC was in opposition, they funded their movement. But you're going up and down, doing charity work like an idiot. What? This is an obedient too. Bro. Wow. And this was a response to the Vanguard newspaper that says that Maurice Moye resigns as Obedient Movement Director of Mobilization. And he said yes. Now, someone has this to say, what a time to be alive. Grateful for not being part of this toxic movement. Yeah, indeed. It's been a very toxic movement. Some of you stopped talking to your real homies because of this same man. Blocked your day one friend and cut every means of communication. And then he added a song to this. That's it, bro. I don't even know what the Obedient can do to help them towards the 2027 election. Maybe there's still hope for 2031. But for 2027, it's over. It's really over. I don't even know what to say. It's really over. It's over, bro. Okay, I've been saying this stuff. Let me just say, viewers' discretion. Ladies cry out for help after her sister was brutally unalived. Wow. Okay, let me see this.
My name is Uzochi Preska, and I am making this video on behalf of my sister, my late sister. This is a cry for help.
Wow.
For my late sister who was unalived by my brother's best friend. His name is Ediri Igbudu Melvin. This is a picture of my sister who Ediri Igbudu Melvin killed. Her name is Eke Chinwendu Tekla.
Okay.
Here is the picture of my brother who is the best friend to my sister's killer. His name is Eke Justus Onyedikachi. This whole thing happened when my brother came back after he graduated from school. Years after, realizing that his best friend Ediri was not doing well, he convinced my sister for him to work with her at her phone accessory store, and she actually does POS as well. Convinced her, and then my sister accepted. He now came to our house in Aja to stay with us. And then at the time I was in school, because I was in my finals, and like it was like a family house where everybody stayed together. So my elder sister, the Adani of our family, she was not feeling fine because she had cancer, and then my dad was not around. He traveled to the village. Justus, who is the best friend to Ediri, my sister's killer, got a job opportunity in Ogun State. And then my immediate elder brother was working in Akwa Ibom. So basically it was just Ediri, my sister, who is Eke Chinwendu Tekla, and then the Adani of my family, that's the first daughter of my family. Her name is Rufina or Linda. It was just the three of them that was in the house. So on this fateful day, Tekla took our Adani, Auntie Linda, to meet my mom, who was in Ajimule at the time, because her case was becoming severe, you know. May her soul rest in peace. She's dead, and she died due to the news of my late sister, Auntie Tekla.
Wow.
So let me continue. So she took her at night to meet my mom in Ajegule that night. And when we communicated to my mom said Tekla left the house that same night and said she was going back to the house. And since that day, we did not hear anything about Tekla.
Okay.
A friend of Tekla now brought it to our notice that Tekla is not replying the message the way she used to. That when they call her, she's not receiving calls, but she's on WhatsApp and she's communicating, but she does not receive calls. She does not return calls. She only replies chat, and the way she chats is unlike her. So they brought it to my notice. I now had to call my siblings, who were actually closer to her in Lagos. My brother Justus, who was in Ogun State. Justus now had to leave his work and came to our house in Aja to figure out what was going on. And Ediri at that time was still in the house. They asked Ediri where my sister went to. He said he doesn't know, that my sister didn't tell him where she went to, that she just left the house like that. And Ediri was now following my brother, you know, to make investigations, to ask questions, where my sister was, who she met with, and the rest. To cut the long story short, we made investigations. We now went to the police. My brother now went to the police, and they now said who was in the house when my sister was missing.
Yeah,
and the
fair
person that was in
question.
the house when my sister was missing was Ediri, which is my brother's best friend.
Okay.
And then they tortured him and tried to get information from him. He finally admitted that he was the one that, you know, unalived my sister. After so many torturing,
Oh my God. This is graphic.
unalived my sister. He dismembered my sister's body.
Okay, I'm gonna move this forward because it's
With the police who were doing investigation. To cut the long story short, we found the body, but we realized that her face was not there and her private part was not there.
Jeez.
Which obviously shows that it's a case of ritual.
What?
So the police now charged Ediri to court, Since then, we've been going to court. They will adjourn the case and tell my brother to come, because my brother was the one in Lagos again. I was still in school, and they will tell my brother to come back. When he comes back to the court, is either Ejiri's lawyer is not around, or something is going to happen, and then they will tell him to go back and come back. Not until he now wrote a letter to. We even tried as much as possible to write a letter to the Ministry of Justice. And after we wrote a letter, they now told my brother now had to come to the court again and give his own story of what happened. And since then, nothing has happened.
Wow.
We've been going to the courts. We've been going to court. Ejiri has been in Ikoyi prison. It was 4 months after. It was 4 months later, sorry to say, that he was now transferred to Kirikiri prison. And as I speak to you, even whilst Ejiri killed my sister, he not only killed and dismembered my sister's body.
Jeez.
He took my sister's money.
What
up
the
to 900
hell?
something thousand naira. A particular account that was a signatory to my sister's account in GT Bank. I went to GT Bank and I realized that Ejiri wiped my sister's account as well because his name was there. Igbudu Ejiri Melvin. Not only that, he rented a house. And when the police officers went to the house, they realized that my sister's phone was there, her POS was there, and some of her belongings were there too. And as I speak to you now, Ejiri is in Kirikiri prison with my sister's phone and his phone, and making videos and WhatsApp showing where he's enjoying.
What the
Let
hell?
me show you the video. Inside the Kirikiri prison, doing videos showing that he enjoys himself. And he's posting on WhatsApp while my sister is dead. My mother died. My other sister too, who suffered from cancer, due to the news, she died. Even said, I went.
Okay, so again,
and he was asked to come.
sorry about that gory picture. This was my first time. I see that it's been trending, and I just wanted to know what happened. So this guy, okay, this very dark man or whatever his name is called, okay,
that's by Justice sister. Now, we came to, if you remember, based on the last update I gave, I said we are going to go and do a DNA test on the remains of the sister. Now, we came to the mortuary to ask for the remains so that we can go and conduct a DNA test, because as the guy by the girl, dismember the body, the head they miss, right? So now we want to do DNA so that the case will be firm. But we came here now and they said they don't bury the body. Say the body don't go mass burial, which is very, very crazy because it doesn't even make any sense. Not from the part of the mortuary, because I asked them, this is a mortuary where it's for people that money no day. It's basically meant for people where we say they just get accidents. Maybe the body no they lie for ground. They just bring it here. So these people just help do a mass burial, Now the question is, why would police that is investigating a case carry the remains to? I no go pay 1 naira. 1 naira I no go pay. 1 naira, yeah, no be your land. 1 naira, no be you get am. This na Nigeria. No do that Lagos with me. This na Nigeria. Don't do like that. Don't do like that.
So that's the problem I have with this guy and whatever. The old noise is just more than the real signal. But again, it is what it is, right?
Don't do that one for no even the remains. This is a public. Even now you listen to here. Stop it.
Now we move on, and then it's just another problem after the other. It's just so crazy. What is the real thing? Was there anybody coming, to claim the body? Because again, this guy comes out, just shouts all around the place, and that's it. Moves on to the next thing, shouts again, move on to the next, and keep shouting. I just wanted to know if there were more context to the old story, but I'm not getting anything from this exchange.
This is it. Or cameras are not allowed. Just like inside the mortuary, it is stated there.
Yes.
Right? But this place is a public place. It's like me going to a police.
Okay, so at the end of the day, I guess
we go continue somewhere else. I just don't want.
Okay, so again, I didn't get anything from that. Apparently, the victim has been buried. Okay, and against possibly the wish of the parents, and that makes the not the parents, because the parents are not alive, I believe, the wish of the family, and that makes the case become very, very difficult to adjudicate. Very, very difficult. Most likely, the guy, you know, I don't know if he's going to really be given the maximum. He should be given the maximum sentence for this case. But again, it is what it is. I just saw that. I said I should talk about it. Yeah, so I was thinking that this story about Regina and the husband would have actually gone with the trend for the past few days, but every day she keeps, you know, sending stuffs out. He said he loved me, but it was toxic. So which one is it? So now she's coming to say that, you know, Ned loved her, but in our 7 years of marriage, he never slept outside because as a Delta babe, I held him. Like, this lady needs to get her acts together. Someone needs to take the phone from her, and she needs to really seek, I would say she needs to seek proper help. She needs to recover and really get herself together. Okay, this was what she wrote today. Now this, I will reply. Yes, I think he loved me, but a toxic one. Because tell me why a polygamous man forgot what it meant to be in polygamy, except for the media. Just because he boasted his ego of being seen with multiple women, which is okay by me, because anyone that sees a man as an odogu sees the wife as what? I practically had to beg that he shares days at ours and the other day with the other wives because they begged for his attention. Can you see what that means? She's even touting the other wives now. You all should please forget this social media comparison, because my ex-man, now the guy is the ex-man, never stepped outside one day in our 7 years of marriage. You know why? Because as a Delta babe, I held him well for the other room. Other room, if you understand what that means. Ladies, use your skill. That's all what men want, actually. I don't know what to say. Seriously, I don't even know what to say. But it is what it is. Okay, I bookmarked this because I wanted to actually react to it. This is in response. This is Seun Sonny in response to Amechi. And Amechi came out yesterday to berate this government. And now Seun Sonny is responding back to it.
Amechi was here talking about Tinubu, talking about Nigerians. He was one of those who was so blessed by Nigeria. In every sense of the word. Many of you here have, in your family, you have never had a counselor. And then one man was a speaker for 8 years, governor for 8 years, minister for 8 years. How blessed can a man be? And then 2 years after power, he has seen the fault of the country. If you can attack the government, can attack the system, you have that innocence and that sterile history of never being in government. You have the right. You have never been a councillor, you have never been a local government chairman, you have never been anything. You are just a Nigerian at the receiving end of the failure of governance.
Yeah, I agree. I don't understand why they call that guy out to come and give something, a lecture about how Nigeria can be better. Amechi has seen it all. From his days in River State to him being the head of the Governors Forum, to him being a minister for 8 years under one of the most disastrous regime. of Buhari. And then he comes out, starts talking about blaming the people. Hey, you people, you're not the one that's doing what you should do. Hey, I'll tell you people, you like being lied to. I'm like, guy, what is this? You're part of the problem. At some point, we'll be like, I did not steal any money. God knows. I'm like, this guy, I don't even know. Because he's no longer in the government. And that's why Shehu is calling him. Even Shehu Sonny at times, I mean, we saw him also a few years ago when he was distributing walkie-talkie, like radio, all the small radios to farmers. But one thing I would appreciate for him was that before he left, when he knew the gig was over, he started saying, oh, we were being paid too much. But he didn't refund any of the money, though. He didn't refund any dime, bro, to the government. But at least maybe, you know, and he's been living on that money since then anyways. I'm just saying.
But if you can sit down here and say we should not look at the messenger, only the message, then you know that one day Tinubu will be out of power and he will stand before you here and talk about the needs of the country. And you should not talk of the messenger. When people have position of authority and power, and they fail to deliver, their communication with the masses and the people should be that of public apology.
I agree.
On that note, under the second standard,
for being patient with us.
No, I would love to be here for a long time. But unfortunately, I have a 4 o'clock meeting with one of the very important Nigerians. If you knew that you will not finish, I came here at 12. If I knew.
Okay, so this was what he said.
No, I'm not joking. The second one was another electoral reform summit. Robert Azibola, again, because I left, said no, there was a meeting in America. There was no meeting in America. There was absolutely no meeting in America. There was just one meeting, and we were invited to meet at the house of the Consul General of the American Embassy, the opposition. And I've said what the discussion was about. The discussion was from America. Look, we don't want violence in this election. Opposition assures that there will be no violence. Then to government, don't rig election. That was all. Nobody went there to talk about Christian religion or Muslim religion. But anyway, that's not part of why we are here. If there's somebody who is confused amongst you, I am. I'm extremely confused.
Wow. That's not about that. That's not about that. I have some stuff that I just pinged in here. Let me see if I can just watch them. I mean, just ping stuff for a while. Comedy stuff, right? Okay. Frank Uto, a victim of terrorist attack speaking. I don't understand. A virus attack speaking. Okay. Sorry.
Thank organizers, thank Judge Saul particularly, and members of the US Congress. And I would thank you so much for all you've been doing for Nigeria and Africa as a whole. Before I proceed, please, I implore you to stand up for just 10 seconds to observe a 10-second silence in memory of my brethren, my siblings, my relations, and all victims of massacre in Nigeria. May their souls and the souls of all the faithful departed through the mercy of God rest in perfect peace. Distinguished guest, I stand before you today a Nigerian. But more than that, I stand before you as a witness for everything you are saying here, or you've said here. I'm a living witness. So today you are getting a tangible, concrete evidence from he who has been a victim. You, the American people, and indeed the conscience of the free world, have heard stories about Nigeria. You've heard about corruption, you've heard about misgovernance, you've heard about terrorism. And on the flip side, you also must have heard about our great sportsmen and musicians and our guys in the entertainment industry and brilliant minds all over the world making global impact in sciences, medicine, and every other area. My name is Frank Faga Uto. I'm from Yellowwater, the very place where the massacre of last month took place. The village head of Yellowwater today is my cousin Kumagajo. He succeeded my dad, who passed away in 2023. I'm a lawyer and a graduate of the law school of the Northumbria University School of Law in the northeast of England, Newcastle. But today I'm a graduate student at the University of Central Oklahoma. I've come straight from the heart of this unfolding tragedy. Last month, like I said earlier, over 200 people who are my friends, my family, my neighbors were brutally, gruesomely, in the most cruel manner, killed. But before then, every month, we do record 10, 20 deaths from in the hands of these terrorists.
Wow.
But it has never been pronounced because we lived with it in the last 10 years. Last month was different because of the sheer number, the sheer size of what happened.
Wow.
34 members of my family were annihilated. 34 members of my own immediate family.
Damn.
My auntie, who was pregnant with twins, was butchered. Her belly was pierced, and they removed the twins and slaughtered these twins, their fetuses. My friend, who just came to the village that day, he spent 7 years studying pharmacy in the university and had graduated a year ago and had done his housemanship and came to the village, and they killed him. That they burnt him to death in his room that night. My sister, God's mom, Mary, a very devout Catholic who has been an altar server, who is a 300 level student, that's how we call it in Nigeria, third year student of accounting in Nasarawa State University, was butchered and her brain was peeled out that night. Children, 1 month old, 3 months old, aged 70 years, 80 years old people who cannot flee, were cycled with fuel in their room and burnt to death. When this massacre happened, the first call I got, very first thing in the morning, the first 8 names I asked after, spontaneously, were all killed. The first 8 names. It was that 20% of my village was annihilated. We're a village of about 2,000 and about more than 200 were killed on that day. Relative to America, it's like 30 million Americans, so 50 million Americans killed in a single night. That was just what happened. For too long, the true nature of this conflict has been obscured by euphemisms and mischaracterizations, just like what you say there. Some call it climate change, some call it grazing routes, but those are the euphemisms for the true context, the essence of exactly what is happening. So we in the Middle Belt have faced a calculated, systematic act of terror, and I'm here to tell you unequivocally that Nigerian Christians, especially in the northern part of Nigeria, have been facing genocide. And of course, that's exactly what's happened. I assure you.
Yeah. No excuse about that. That's the reality. That's the reality. And I said it. The northern reality is way different from the southern reality. And that's why you have some southern pastors saying, no, it doesn't really matter. It's not like that. It's just the U.S.
Armed militias converge in your village and start killing and shouting the internationally recognized slogan and motto of jihadis all over the world, Allahu Akbar, it's no longer ethnic, it's not political, it's strictly religious. And that was exactly what they were doing that night. That was a chant from beginning to end. They were killing and shouting Allahu Akbar every step of the way. And you know the funny thing? They took 4 hours doing that. And let me paint a graphic picture of what Yerota is. My village is situated on the federal highway, what you call the interstate in America. So it's not a village in the hinterland where the road is impassable. It's a village that is just 25 minutes drive to the state capital, Makurdi, where there's an Air Force base, Tactical Air Command of the Nigerian Air Force, where they could deploy a drone. It's 25 minutes drive. And in Makurdi, there's the presence of the 72 Special Forces Battalion of the Nigerian Army. And then the next capital, the capital of Nasarawa State, Lafia, is placed 51 kilometers away from my village. So we are sandwiched by 2 capitals, state capitals, on the highway, on the interstate. And these terrorists operated for 4 good hours, burning everybody in the village. That points exactly to what has been an established fact: state complicity. Distinguished audience, the Nigerian government, despite its pronouncement, has demonstrably failed to defend us. Time and again, when our villages are attacked, help is either non-existent or deliberately arrives too late. Worst, when our young men, driven by desperation to protect their families, organize themselves in self-defense, they are often met not with support, but with arrest and detention by the very authorities who should be protecting them.
And that's the most insane thing, right? When someone tries to save himself or herself from these lunatics, then you arrest the person trying to defend himself, to defend his life. It's crazy.
Leaving our communities even more vulnerable. This is not just neglect, it is active disarming of the victims. Therefore, I stand you today to make an urgent, fervent plea, a plea for the conscience of America and the global community. 1, I reaffirm what my bishop, the bishop of the Catholic Diocese of Makurdi, Bishop Anagui, said to the U.S. Subcommittee on Africa, Congressional Subcommittee on Africa in March this year, that let's designate Nigeria as a country of particular concern. The systematic, egregious violations of religious freedom against Christians in northern Nigeria demand this designation. This is not merely symbolic. It triggers mechanisms for focused diplomatic and economic pressure, sending an unmistakable message to the Nigerian government and the perpetrators that the world is watching and will not tolerate this genocide and injustice. Secondly, we need intervention, not indifference. We need active, robust intervention from the United States, the West, and all people of goodwill across the globe. We need monetary and humanitarian aid, very especially, to help rebuild our villages and take care of the medical and clothing needs of our people, as well as food. Our people don't have food now. They hardly eat in a day. Beyond the humanitarian aid that is desperately needed, we make the following call. A, targeted sanctions. Impose sanctions on individuals and entities implicated in the persecution and violence against Christians in Nigeria. Yep. My brother Steve mentioned some names. Those are the names. These figures are well known. You know, some time ago, 2 years ago, Dubai arrested about quite a couple of terrorists. That's the UAE government, and prosecuted and jailed them. They gave them a corresponding list of their sponsors in Nigeria. The UAE sent that list to Nigeria, and Nigerian government has slept on it up to this day. Intelligence sharing, C. We need capacity building, share critical intelligence with groups capable of defending themselves, and provide non-lethal weapons and defensive capabilities to vulnerable communities by passing a government that has proven unwilling or unable to protect its own citizens. D, diplomatic pressure. Leverage every diplomatic tool to demand accountability from the Nigerian government for its failure to protect its Christian citizens and to cease the arrest of those attempting self-defense.
I agree.
E, allow us to defend ourselves. If the Nigerian government cannot and will not defend us from this systematic jihad, then they must allow us the right to defend ourselves. Instead of sending soldiers to arrest our able-bodied youth who are merely trying to protect their homes and families, the government must step aside and permit communities to organize legitimate self-defense mechanisms. Disarming the victims in the face of an existential threat is not neutrality.
Yep.
It is complicity. Furthermore, as crucial part of the solution, we demand that the USA, the Interpol, and the global community arrest the sponsors of the Fulani Jihad in Nigeria, who are the very center of gravity of this genocide. Those sponsors are well known to the US, to Nigeria, and the Interpol, and they are among the top echelon of the Nigerian political, business, economic, and traditional institutions.
I agree.
They must be prosecuted before the International Criminal Court, ICC, for crimes against humanity. This is not merely about justice for the past, it is also about dismantling the machinery of terror that continues to threaten our existence. My people are resilient, we are resourceful, but we are also systematically slaughtered. We are not asking for an army to fight our battles, but for the fundamental right to protect our lives, our families, and our faith in the face of an existential threat that the state has failed to address. The price of continued inaction, of polite diplomacy that ignores the brutal reality on the ground, will be paid in Christian blood. Let us not allow history to record that when Yerwata, my village, when Benue State, my state, which is made up of 98% Christians, and when Nigerian Christians are persecuted by these murderous jihadists, the world turned a deaf ear. Let us instead forge a new chapter, one where justice prevails, where human dignity is upheld, and where the systematic jihad against Nigerian Christians is made with a resolute stand of a global community, echoing a dark chapter from our own history. Finally, I called on the US, all of you here, to help pray for my siblings, for my friends, for my relations, for my community, for my state. The American dream, which was so well encapsulated and articulated in paragraph 2 of the Declaration of Independence, that you so much desire, we also desire that. We desire this unalienable right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Yes, we do. Thank you. God bless you. God bless the United States of America. God bless Nigeria. God bless Yerwata. And may the souls of the faithful departed, through the mercy of God, continue to rest in perfect peace.
Wow. I mean, I don't have anything to add to that. I don't. He said it all. The painful part is the complicity of the Nigerian government in all of this thing that is happening. That's just it. Which is quite crazy. Okay. I have some stuff that I have bookmarked in the past that I just want to kind of play. I'll start from the first. This is the United States. Since we just heard from someone that has personally been at the receiving end of injustice. So I'm going to play this. This is in the United States of America, a Christian country. There are people meeting and then chanting death to America. Can you imagine that?
Not a great look. The mayor condemned it. The White House condemned it. But what about Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib? She reps Dearborn. Is she okay with her constituents chanting death to America? Fox Business correspondent Hillary Vaughn asked her. Watch.
Congresswoman Tlaib?
Fox News. I don't talk to Fox News.
At a rally in your district, people were chanting death to America. Do you condemn?
Talk to Fox News.
But do you condemn chants of death to America?
I don't talk to people that use racist tropes.
So again, that's yeah, I'll come back. Again, that's an old video, but I'm just also showing you with respect to what we face. It's a global problem. And if we think that, you know what, it's happening somewhere, let's just allow it to go on, it becomes a big problem. Let's look at this.
Told us to stop. He alleged that it was the government that wanted us to engage in banditry, but now it has called us and told us to stop. He alleged that despite 2 months of attempts to initiate peace talks, authorities only located them when they... It was the government that wanted us to engage in banditry, but now it has called us and told us to stop. He alleged that despite 2 months of attempts to initiate peace talks, authorities only located them when they genuinely decided to engage. The armed group insisted that peaceful coexistence depends entirely on Nigerian leaders, stating, "If you want to cry, don't cry with us, the terrorists, but cry with your government, for they are the ones who made us do what we have been doing." I mean, this is really, really alarming, Rufai. The allegations raised...
are now saying that you are the ones using them. And we've also seen allegations against government officials. We've also seen government officials do photo op with bandits.
Right.
We've also had government officials being mentioned. Government, if you love...
So why they put in, why they put in, what's his name, Soludo's picture there? I don't want to see Soludo's picture. I'm just saying, who the real governors that we've seen in the house of these bandits? I don't even know why they call them bandits. They're terrorists. Bandit is making it feel like these are just a group of individuals that are doing bad stuff. No, these are terrorists that are doing despicable, evil stuff that needs to be dealt with decisively.
Of this country, release the list of the terrorist financiers that was released in Dubai.
All right.
And let justice and the killing end.
All right. Well, if I come to you. Meanwhile, U.S. Congressman, it was the government that... Okay,
so that's that about that. I just pinned this. It's been on my inbox for a while. Sorry, my messages for a while. Just wanted to talk about it. Let's look at this one.
Obi Kubana, Tinubu, Joey Zaza, Tinubu, E-Money, Tinubu, Ojo Zokalo, Tinubu, the biggest voice in Southeast, Dave Umai, Tinubu, the richest man in other states, Ojo Zokalo, Tinubu, Soludo, Tinubu, Pitamba, the governor of Enugu State, Tinubu, the governor of Ebonyi State, Governor Wifuru, Tinubu, Chief of Staff, Tinubu, Tinubu appointee, Inspector General of Police, the IG, Tinubu, WIKE, Tinubu, Abuja as a whole, Tinubu, River States, Tinubu. So where you want to start? Benin, Tinubu, the biggest state.
The young man is asking a very good question, and given the state of the opposition in Nigeria today, it's just painful. It's just painful. Guy took it, grabbed it, or snatched it, or whatever it says, and ran away with it.
In the South, right? Ekiti State for Tinubu, where you want to start? Kano State is for Tinubu, Katsina for Tinubu, where you want to start? How you want to do which magic you want to perform? Minister of Justice, the Attorney General of the Federation, Tinubu, where you want to start? You where they plan to defeat Tinubu in 2027 now, where you want to start? How you want to do which magic you want to perform? Which magic you want to perform now? They ask you now, you where they come as now, go contest against Tinubu in 2027. How you want to win? Dave Umai, the biggest voice in Southeast, don't talk and say, now Tinubu Southeast go vote for.
Yeah, that
the
was
richest man in the whole of Southeast.
That was even the one that was kind of, I don't understand why the Southeast came out to say that nobody should be contesting against Tinubu. Like, even those in the Southwest are not even saying that. And it's for all we're worth, even though we know he's not going to do anything. Showore is contesting. So why would the Southeast say on Ohaneze has said it is only Tinubu in 2027? I'm kind of lost as to why.
This Ateze Nubu don't come out to contact us and Tinubu everybody go vote for. Now you now want challenge him. Are you richer than Ateze? No. Are you more influential than Ateze? No. Are you richer than Dave Umai? No. Are you more influential than Dave Umai? No. Are you richer than Ojo Zokalo? No. You get money past Obi Kubana? No. You get money past Kubana Chief Priest? No. So how you want to take defeat Tinubu in 2027? How you want to take Duam? Special advisor to the president on politics. Now Tinubu appointee. So where you want to start? Which road you want to follow to go defeat Tinubu in 2027? Which road you want to follow? How you want to do? If I tell you, please say the how you want to do this thing? How you want to do now? Where you want to start? Yeah?
Again, I mean, it's a fair question. And that's the question I'm also asking. Given what happened in Rivers State just this last week, how the showing for the Labour Party was just so much more ridiculous and painful at the same time. Not because I even like Labour Party or like Peter Obi, but the fact that we don't even have a very profound opposition, a very well-instituted opposition in the country. It just makes things more difficult. Okay, let me see what else I have saved. This one is just comedy, right?
Without internet for 2 days, what's going on?
Oh, I sincerely apologize for the inconvenience faced and I wanted to address it.
This is a Nigerian. Okay, for all his work, this is a Nigerian.
So that your consult regarding the internet service would be remediated in no time, okay? So the couple of information I'd like to verify so I can indeed confirm that I'm talking to the real.
That's crazy. I need to move on. This one also is a Nigerian. It gives people Yoruba script and tells them to say exactly what he said. Let's look at it. This is funny.
Elinjin kuku. Etisun. Right?
Inú ìkòkò dúdú lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ funfun ti jáde.
Nídìí kòkò dúmí di. Nídìí kòkò dúmí di.
Like, what the hell?
Ojú lúwẹ̀ fún ìtìmí jáde.
What?
Araba ni bàbá. Ẹni abábálábà ni bàbá.
Arana ni bala.
What?
Abala baba ba abala.
No. Alaba ni baba, ẹni abábálábà ni bàbá.
Ojú àwo ni àwo fi ń gba ọbẹ̀. Action.
Ojú àlọ ni àwo fún wẹ̀wẹ̀. Wẹ̀wẹ̀.
Àdàbà ń pògèdè bí pé ẹyẹlé ò gbọ́. Ẹyẹlé gbọ́ o, títìrì ló ń tiri.
Àdẹ́dẹ́ tó ń bọ̀ tó tiri.
What? She didn't even try at all. She didn't even try at all.
Àpẹ̀yìn sọ́wọ́ ọ̀tún, káfẹ̀yìn sọ́wọ́ òsì, káfí ẹ̀yìn lọ́sídùú sẹ́yìn, ẹ̀ tó kì í yí ni òní yí ni.
Kafeyin sí ọ̀tún, kafeyin sí ọ̀tún. Something in the back. Something in the back.
How do you even say that? Something in the back. So she actually knows Yoruba, right? Enyi is back, right? How come she... Man, if this lady goes to the Masoyibo show, I guess she's going to have to get a loan to pay off her debt.
Tígi bá wọlé jù kì í jẹ́ pé ọwọ́ aráyé ló wọ̀ ohun tígi náà jẹ́ lórí ẹrù ni.
Tígi bá wọlé jù kò jẹ́ pé ojú aráyé ló wọ̀ ìjìkì tó máa
She actually tried in the first part, actually.
ìjìkì tó máa jẹ́ lẹ́sẹ̀ ló máa jẹ́. I know that one I can translate.
Nìkíni.
Kò mọ́wọ́ ló lẹ́wù ẹlẹ́nu rúrùn ló lámù ìyá ẹ̀.
Kò má wọ̀ lórí kan ẹlẹ́nu wọ̀.
Kòkòrò tó ń jẹ̀fọ́ abẹ́fọ́ ló wà.
Kòkòrò tó jẹ̀fọ́ abẹ́fọ́ tó ń jára abẹ́fọ́ tó.
That one was easy, right?
Àìkí mọ̀ ọgún mọ̀ tẹ̀ kí iyán ewúrẹ́ má lẹ̀ mọ́.
Àìkú mọ̀ ọgún mọ̀ tẹ̀ àyẹ̀tí mọ̀ ọgbọ́n lẹ̀ mọ́.
Omi là kọ́ tẹ̀ ká tó tẹ̀yàn rì.
Omi là kọ́ tẹ̀ látó tẹ̀nà ni.
Lè ṣe bọ́ lè ṣe oògùn. Bá ṣe wáyé pa òrí là ó rí.
Lè ṣe bọ́ lè ṣe oògùn. Bá ṣọ́rí mẹ́mẹ́sìn ṣàpórí.
Òrìṣà bí ìfún òsì ojoojúmọ́ ló ń gbẹ ẹbọ lọ́wọ́ ẹni. Action.
Do you know what that means? That, you know, like the tummy or the stomach is always looking for stuff. Or it shall be if you see, but that is every day you have to eat. That's what that means. I think I get that, actually.
Orishati bi osi. Orishati bi osi.
Orishati fun kò sí. Orishabi fun kò sí. Ojojúmọ́ ló ń gbẹbọ lọ́wọ́ ẹni. It's simple, right?
Why you freezing?
God have mercy upon us.
Àgbà ní bá ní tòlù, ọmọdé ló ń tú ilé bàbá ẹni ṣe. Action.
Àgbà ní. Can you say that for the last time? I promise I won't mess up.
Kékeré lábẹ́rẹ́ kéré kò ṣe mímì fàdíyẹ.
Kékeré kéré ṣe bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ òfin níní máa bẹ̀rẹ̀.
Ọwọ́ ọmọdé ò tó pẹpẹ.
Àwọn ọmọdé kò tẹ pẹpẹ.
Àgbàlagbà ọwọ́ kèrègbè.
Tagba what?
Bí ayé bá ń bàjẹ́ lójú àgbà, Emma Buwao, I'm Wawuni.
Okay. Imagine Bache. Emma Buwao. Emma Buwao.
That's crazy, bro. It's just so fun to watch. I was like, man, I'm gonna play this tonight.
Easy for you. Let me give you one in Hausa, then you say it. Menene Tatsunya will tell about it Anaba Yara. No, now say it.
I know you love the video and you're laughing right now, but make sure you watch the full video on YouTube. Go to my profile, the link is there.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I think she did one. He did one with Iniedo, right? Oh, let me see. Yeah. And Iniedo is trying to actually sell our film. I think it says Christmas something Christmas, right? A very dirty Christmas, like dirty December, right? Okay, let's go with that one.
Come on,
Omweni oleshe idi bebere.
Can we break it? Your two things too long.
That's a
break it.
That's the script. You have to say it together. God have mercy upon us.
Omweni oleshe idi bebere. Kafule. Let me learn.
How it's all started.
In this script, you have to speak Yoruba. So
I think she's lost some weight, right? Like, look at it. She's lost some weight, right? Yeah, she's lost some weight.
Are you sure you can do it?
Am I sure I can do it?
Yes.
Yes.
Let's have it. Kakekuma jese afi shawadanuni. Action.
What?
Action. Yes. Next.
You never say anything. You just start.
Tabani oto onilu asimi, aito onilu adija.
Tabani oto oluwadumi simi, tongani anye ipa. Stop it. Stop it.
One more. Daleni, dalola, tojo wo ba fo baba ni owo.
Bombastic side eye.
I said, Daleni, dalola.
Come on, don't buy anything. What's the name, brother? You want to say okay, you say this one. The way you know my Yoruba sana. I see young bomb come out. Say it. Say it. Say it in your script. Say it. You don't want him to say. Young man, say it now. If you have mind, say it.
People mean that they're sure.
I said say it.
Say it. Say it. It's not in
my friend,
tell
them that a very dirty Christmas.
A very dirty Christmas
is coming to this.
Come out and watch it.
The film is sweet.
Look at me.
It's sweet.
Look at me.
It's sweet like having a
you want to bag it.
I've lost weight.
I've lost weight.
Yeah, I saw that she lost weight actually. Yeah.
Just look at you.
I've lost weight, brother.
You have lost weight.
I've lost weight. It's good.
Okay, so that's it. Yeah, like, okay, cinema is showing starting from December 16, Dirty December. I guess that's the inspiration. Okay, we'll see what happened. Okay, I've listened to, I'm not gonna listen to this one. It's the same thing. Okay, yeah, I've listened to this one. It's the same thing. The story was just like, this guy is kind of a comedian online that I think Tunde Mazi had not helped. And now he's coming out to just apologize because someone threw a shade at him, and then he replied back, and a strange bullet went to hit Tunde Ednut. Apparently, Tunde Ednut got annoyed and blocked him on all of his social media, on WhatsApp and all of those. So he's coming out to say that Tunde Ednut should be sorry, that he never meant to do what was bad. I don't think I want to listen to that. It's just an internet drama thing. I'm gonna move on. Okay, this is also another comedy. I don't want to listen to this one. Dating struggles in Toronto. Okay, let's see what happens here.
Married, gay, or unserious. If you see Nigerian man, you see beer, hug beer. No hug Nigerian men.
That's not nice. That's not nice.
Most of them are married, gay, or serious.
If I'm really into you, I'd never ask you about your boyfriend. Even if I know you have a boyfriend, I'll just keep acting like he doesn't exist. Who knows? You never know, right? She might leave her boyfriend and come for me.
The streets are dangerous. That's all I can say.
What is the biggest dating challenge in Toronto, Canada right now?
Everybody has dated somebody who has dated somebody who has dated somebody.
Well, everybody's dating each other. It's a love triangle.
Like everybody is dating each other.
I don't date Canada, but everybody's dating each other. That's what I would say.
The guys want to be princesses. The boys want to be girls so bad. They're giving lazy. You know, it's giving unintentional. So, nah.
Are you in a relationship? Why?
You don't do that.
You don't do relationship.
Oh, what? What does that mean? That's crazy. Toronto guys. These Indian comedians are always just so funny. The series. I guess that's just a skit, right? Okay, I listened to this yesterday. I mean, what we won't see with this WIKE and the army face-off?
Stop that. I'm an integrity officer. Will you stop that? Sir, you cannot shot me. Get away! Stop that! You cannot shot me. Who does that? You cannot shot me. Will you stop that? You cannot shot me. I'm an integrity. Get away! I was in school when you I'm acting on order, sir. You haven't shot that. Sir, you cannot shot me. I beat you. Sir, I'm not a fool.
That's just so funny. No, I'm not gonna watch this one. Yeah, I've been seeing this guy on my feed. I don't know what's happening. They said he hasn't eaten for like 20 years or 40 years or whatever. He said he's going to 40 years, right? But he hasn't been eating for the past how many years? And people were like, the hardest part of this whole thing was that him not being caught when he eats. I don't know, man. Just, I don't know, man. It's just crazy. Okay, our sisters in the Lord. Let's listen to this.
It's not bad.
Okay, taxes are hard. It is hard.
God have mercy upon us.
Maybe one or two, little half sleeve. Maybe like
Sisters of God. Oh.
He's a Christian, but he has a lot of female friends.
even one. Only woman that should be in your life is your mom, me, and your sisters. That's it.
I'm already your best friend.
Even your cousin, even your cousin, sometimes they need to, even cousin.
He's a Christian, but he smokes a lot.
I be not smoking good. I be not smoking good.
A little something to take off the edge.
No! Bring your Bible to remove the edge. Put your Bible here. Put your Bible.
He's a Christian, but he's a mommy's boy.
No. Competition with each other, never.
He's a Christian, but he's bald.
He's what? He's bald?
Yeah.
Does he have a beard?
He has a beard.
Bald with a beard? We can work with that. That's my type.
Sister of God.
That's your type, right? We can work with that.
He's a Christian, but he doesn't like to pray a lot.
Like a lot? A lot? I mean, no, keep going. That means he's so crazy, though. Like,
nah. Men ought to pray.
What we ought to pray.
And not to faint.
Okay, that is what's the prayer for. You like to pray a lot.
I'm so disappointed in some people.
Okay, so that's that about that. I see. Okay, that's cool. Okay, I'm not gonna watch this one. Yeah, let me see this one.
Poor mate, that's so poor. Even the Shegans. Who's Shegan? Who's Shegan? Shegun. You're telling them your name is Shegan. You're telling them your name is Adi.
Fake life.
Adi. Right? But where? And Ayo. 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 Are we Chris Brown? Chill. But you're telling them your name is Sean. That's poor, mate. That's so poor. Even the Shegans. Who's Shegan?
I don't know. That's what people call themselves now. Once they move out, they change their name and all of those. Yeah, it is what it is. So closing now, I just want to listen to this final one. This was shared a few weeks ago by WIKE's media guy, and we'll see what happens. Oh, sorry, where's the volume?
Okay, so Rufai, just one question.
It's not still holding the Naira. The Naira is still going to 1,600.
Okay, so Rufai, just one question. Is there anything positive you see in data with what has been put forward here? Because what the thing is this, you
Rufai is just a billionaire that works for a billionaire, right? So again, his bias is always there in the open, and everybody has. I have my own biases too. I wouldn't doubt that. But again, when you are given a platform and you thrive in calling yourself a journalist, then it's a different story. And that's why at times his bias comes out, and it comes out really, really heavy. We saw him when he went to, what's it called again? Alex Otis' state to interview. And then when it came out, you know, we saw that it was just more of a softball interview. He never asked him, I put it to you, what's the cost per kilometer? He never did all of those charade that he does on live TV. It made him look like a joke. But when you have other stuff coming out, other people coming out, then it's a different story. I'm just saying.
As for empirical data, daily, right? So this is, wait now, hold on. The data here shows that subsidies are wasteful spending. The Singapore example, I was making the example to say that because Nigeria, we do low-income housing here in Nigeria as well. The point I was trying to make is that inefficient spending on subsidies, as was made by World Bank, IMF, everybody, every analyst, every guest that has come here, puts the spending in other things that have value. Subsidies are a tax cut for the wealthy. So if you, just one second, I just want to round up. All you've done is just say corruption. If you bring a solution here, corruption will destroy it. You bring a solution here, corruption will destroy it. You bring it. So the thing is, the point is that if every single way you turn, you say that nothing will work, corruption will destroy it, then let me just put my laptop down, pick up my phone, and let everybody just go home and leave Nigeria to burn. You know what I'm saying? There has to be some hope and optimism that some of these things can work.
Rotus, let me tell you something.
It has to work. You can't be doomsday every day.
Rotus, when Tinubu came in, he promised renewed hope. He's renewed shiggy.
He's 1 year.
Again, and again, that's just it. That's Rufai for you. We know he doesn't like this government, but possibly he's been, you know, maybe soft pedaling for a while. And again, he had some good questions at times, and I'm in for all of that. But the whole truth is this: that I don't think that we can tag him as a journalist. I think he's more of an activist that has the platform of a journalist. And that is where I end the broadcast for today. Thanks for watching. Catch you tomorrow. Thanks and have a good evening. Bye.